Hello, true duelists. My name is Craig Fee, and welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Update. Good news for competitive players in North America this week, as Konami has announced 4 more YCSs to take place in the coming months. In Hartford, Connecticut on the weekend of May 28th and 29th, Niagara, Ontario on the weekend of September 10th and 11th, Minneapolis, Minnesota on the weekend of October 22nd and 23rd, and in Pasadena, California on November 5th and 6th. Again, great news for North American players, and if you're European, you don't exist. Get over it. Konami has revealed some of the cards to be featured in the 2022 Megatins this week as well. To no one's surprise, Red Eyes, Blue Eyes, and Dark Magician Girl are all getting reprints. But hey, this time it's different art, so it's exciting. It'll likely be these alternate arts from the OCG's History Archive collection, which, if you like them, is great news for you, I suppose. And if you're me and you think that this Blue Eyes looks goofy as shit, sucks to suck. In less DM pandering news, the tins have also been confirmed to have reprints of much wanted staples, including Ash Blossom, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, Lightning Storm, and Forbidden Droplet. With Droplet still being $100 per copy despite its last reprint, and Ash being $30 in spite of having 8 printings, this could be the chance for Konami to make competitive play more affordable. Could also be a chance for them to print these cards in the tins in place of the big name cards of 2021, like Pot of Prosperity or DPE. God, I hope not. Still, a $20 Ash Blossom is going to be a lot more affordable than the $30 ones. Actually, just kill me. Also revealed was the entire deck list from the upcoming Albaz structure deck. Beyond being a solid meta contender in the upcoming format, the TCG version will be unchanged from the OCG one, with one exception being Ice Dragon's Prison has been replaced with Warning Point. Which, while a shame, does mean that we'll be getting reprints of Dimensional Barrier, Pot of Extravagance, Called by the Grave, Dark Ruler No More, Ghost Ogre, Effect Veiler, and Seyfert all in one deck. Which is pretty damn good for like a $10 to $15 structure deck that you can buy 3 of. Until, you know, your local store jacks the price of it up to like $25 because it's got so much in it. But we don't have to think about that yet. The deck isn't out yet. Regardless, all these printings is a rare win for the TCG, and we take those. In new card news, we got reveals this week from the upcoming Power of the Elements, a new spell card that sends a monster from your extra deck to the grave to return one monster the opponent controls of the same card type, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, Pendulum, or Link, back to the deck. The icing on the cake is that the opponent cannot respond to this card with monster effects. A solid card, right up there with Psychic Eraser Laser, and its strength and inability to be searched, making it not played almost certainly because of that. But it's still okay. It's still a decent card. Amazement also got a new trap card as well, which does the usual Amazement shenanigans of equipping itself. When equipped to one of your monsters, it can change the battle position, and then your opponent chooses an Amazement trap in your graveyard to set back to your field, and when equipped to an opponent's monster, it can banish it until the end phase. It's also a train, so I'm sure there's plenty of jokes that can be made in regard to that. Suship also got a new card. Gunkan Suship Akashari is a level 4 with the effect that its name in hand, deck, field, and grave becomes Gunkan Suship Shari, and while in the hand can reveal another Gunkan Suship Shari from your hand to special summon itself and one Gunkan monster from your deck. Then special summon an Xyz monster that asks the name of the special summoned monster using both it and this card as material. This is a fantastic piece of support for the deck, and an even better source of debate among players as to whether or not that first effect means that you can only play 3 of this or 3 of the vanilla, or if you can play 3 of both. Common sense might tell you that as a piece of support it will be playable at 3 with it and the vanilla. However, Twitter is not a place where common sense exists. Lastly, for Power of the Elements reveals, and most importantly, a new Moki Moki monster. That's right, Stray Moki Moki has 2 effects. 1, while in the grave or on the field, it's treated as a normal monster, and 2, it can be discarded from the hand to add 1 Moki Moki card from deck to hand except for a copy of itself. As one Redditor has put in my mind, God willing, this is the start of Moki Moki becoming a counterpart of sorts to Skull Servants. Lord only knows how much I'd love to beat my opponent to death with the Stoner Angel pillows. We also got news about the Crystal Beast structure deck from the OCG, revealing 3 token arts for the deck and a new boss monster. The tokens are of some rocks, Anime Boy himself with all the Crystal Beasts, and Anime Boy with just that Espeon with the cursed hands. Tell me I'm wrong. The new boss monster revealed is a Rainbow Dragon fusion monster that requires 1 ultimate crystal monster, which is the Rainbow Dragons if you aren't aware, and 7 crystal beasts. It can be special summoned during a duel in which you summoned a ultimate crystal monster by banishing the materials for it from the field or grave. And it has 2 effects. The first is that if you have 7 differently named crystal beasts, it gains 7,000 attack, putting it to 11,000. Big. And the second effect is that if it hasn't battled this turn, it can tribute itself to shuffle all cards on the field into the deck, and then summon any number of your banished Crystal Beast monsters. This is exactly what Crystal Beast as an archetype needed. A 3rd Rainbow Dragon monster that gets ridiculously high attack and then is actually good by tributing itself and just leaving the field. That's perfect. You know, the first 2 times worked fantastically, so I'm sure this 3rd one is going to catapult them right into top tier. Still, it's only the first card revealed. Who knows what else we might get? Main deck monsters actually worth playing that aren't Pegasus, Carbuncle, and Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon? I really hope so. For Master Duel news, players were disappointed by the most recent update, bringing only cards from Dawn of Majesty and the missing half of Synchro Storm, 1 story mode for the Herald cards, and just about nothing else. No ban list to address the Banquet of Millions decks or cards like VFD, Rongo, or Drytron, making the best of 1 rated a very one-sided thing in favor of those cards. Are you upset at the lack of support for the game? Do you maybe just really hate the Heralds and are disappointed that they got a story mode instead of your favorite, I don't know, fish deck? Well, it doesn't matter. There's still no ban list, and it's still kind of smart to play 13 card extra decks for the Banquet matchup, so it doesn't matter. We're still playing it. We're still playing Master Duel, baby. In community news, the 11th episode of the Progression Series Season 2 dropped this week following Ancient Sanctuary. With Simo winning a Starlight Rare from the wheel, he got himself a copy of Giant Trunate to play around back row in a way that doesn't involve Cliff the Trap Remover. That being said, he will most definitely still be playing that card until they reach the inevitable first reprint set. This week was a swift 2-0 for Gage, with him playing CED good stuff with Yada in his deck, and Simo going absolutely 9-headed big brain play, countering a stall burn strategy after Gage had pulled CED and Yada. He's 18 moves ahead of me. I couldn't quite figure out that one. The real deciding factor for Gage's win, however, was his choice to actually play Pot of Greed and Imperial Order, finally after like 2 weeks of just not maining 2 of the best cards he has. Why not? The score for the series is now 4-7 in favor of Gage. Was this a well-earned win by Gage, or a tactical loss on purpose from Simo to avoid Gage getting a free ban this week? No one knows for sure, but this much is certain. Simo's editor forgot to put the send-off in. It's not a big deal, it's just funny that it happened. Happens to the best of us. It was also April Fool's this week. You may have been fooled by MBT's fake YugiTuber award show video, or better yet, you may have been fooled by YGO.org's fake Mystic Mine archetype. A combination of words that I don't think should ever be spoken. The fake Mystic Mine archetype was of note, but really the most important thing to come from the community's April Fools was this tweet from Gage. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let that's going to speak for itself. Speaking of the godless wasteland of Twitter, this past week Farfa started a Twitter war between Yu-Gi-Oh players and Cardfight Vanguard players after posting this tweet. Which game has the worst and most degenerate card art? Ultimately, that's for you to decide. I have my biases, but let's be real here, folks. Vanguard has its degenerate cards, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Has people that unironically play and obsess over witchcrafter monsters. The moral of this story is, if you're fighting over which card game has the most degenerate art on Twitter, go the fuck outside. Just please touch grass. I am begging you. And with that being said, that wraps it up for this week's update. As always, I'm your host, Craig Fee. Make sure you subscribe to YGO Strats for next week's update, and so that you too can become a true duelist.